All right, let's talk about a hidden danger that could honestly be sitting in your medicine cabinet right now. We're going to show you how some really common over-the-counter cold meds can, for certain people, actually trigger a serious eye emergency. So let's dive into how you can stay safe.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You feel a cold coming on, you just want some relief so you can get some sleep. You grab one of those multi-symptom pills, and you're out. But what if that one simple, totally normal thing to do could kick off a chain reaction that puts your vision at risk by the time you wake up?
I know, it sounds pretty alarming, and you know what? It should. But understanding this risk is actually the most powerful thing you can do to prevent it. It really all just comes down to knowing what to look for. So, we're going to give you a super clear safety first plan. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to spot those risky ingredients, how to shop smarter at the pharmacy, and most importantly, how to recognize the warning signs you can't ignore. So, let's start with the problem itself. Okay, so first things first, we need to understand the why. Why are these everyday medicines that we all use a potential landmine for people who have a specific kind of anatomy in their eye? So, when most of us hear the word glaucoma, we think of something that's kind of slow and silent, a disease that takes years to develop. This is not that. Angle closure glaucoma is the complete opposite. It's a fire alarm, a sudden, acute event where the pressure inside your eye can spike like right now and become really dangerous. Here's a really good way to picture it. Imagine the drainage system for the fluid in your eye is like a narrow hallway. Now, for people who have what doctors call narrow angles, that hallway is already pretty tight. And what certain medications do is dilate your pupil, which is kind of like shoving a bunch of furniture into that hallway. It completely blocks the exit and causes a massive, dangerous traffic jam of pressure. So what's causing all this crowding? Well, the culprits are basically hiding in plain sight. We're talking about those sedating antihistamines you find in PM or nighttime formulas, certain decongestants, and this is the big one, those multi-symptom shotgun products that just cram a bunch of these risky ingredients into one single pill. All right, so how do we take all this information and turn it into a real practical plan? Let's build a strategy for that exact moment when you're standing in the pharmacy aisle, feeling miserable, and just want something that works. This right here is probably the most important rule of all. We all have brands we trust, and we just grab the box. But that's not enough. The brand name on the front, that's just marketing. The active ingredients list on the back of the box, that's the science. You have to get literate in the ingredients, not just be loyal to the packaging. And this slide just shows you exactly what I'm talking about. On the left, you've got the day version of a cold medicine. On the right, the night version, from the exact same brand. The only real difference is that one extra ingredient in the nighttime pill, diphenhydramine, an antihistamine that can dilate the pupil. Same brand, totally different risk.
So what's the strategy? It's actually pretty simple. Your default move should always be to go for single ingredient products. If you have a stuffy nose, just get something for a stuffy nose. That's how you avoid those hidden stacked ingredients in the combo formulas. Only grab a multi-symptom product if you've specifically talked about that exact one with a pharmacist or your doctor.
Here's your 5-step checklist you can literally use right there in the store. 1. Flip the box over and identify the active ingredients. 2. Check them against your personal risk list. 3. Choose single ingredients if you can. 4, and this is a big one, always confirm with the pharmacist. That is what they are there for. And finally, number 5, just be mindful after you take that first dose. Now, let's get to what is maybe the most critical part of all of this. We've talked about prevention, but what if symptoms do start? This is where you absolutely need an emergency plan. These are the red flags. If you experience a cluster of these things together, we're talking really bad eye pain, seeing halos around lights, maybe even feeling nauseous. Do not wait. Don't try to sleep it off. This signals a possible pressure crisis that needs immediate emergency care. And it is so important to get this. This isn't about taking too much of the medicine. We often think problems only happen if you overdose. But for someone with narrow angles, a single, totally normal recommended dose of the wrong product can be all it takes to trigger this whole emergency. When these symptoms hit, especially if it's late at night, the big temptation is to think, oh, I'll just go to sleep, I'll feel better in the morning. That is the most dangerous thing you could possibly do. With this condition, time is literally vision. Every hour you delay can cause damage that you can never get back. So here it is. This is your safety protocol. Before you even take a pill, check the ingredients and confirm it with a pharmacist. When you take that first dose, jot down the time.
Then, you actively monitor yourself for that cluster of emergency symptoms. If those red flags pop up, you escalate to emergency care immediately.
Okay, we've gone through the problem, the prevention game plan, and the emergency response. So let's wrap this all up into one simple, really powerful action you can take as soon as this is over. Here is your action plan. Make a note in your phone or, an actual card for your wallet. Write down your risk status. List the key ingredients you need to watch out for. Add your pharmacy and doctor's phone numbers. And a great tip, take photos of the labels of products you already know are safe for you. Then share it. Having this ready can make all the difference during that late night I feel awful trip to the pharmacy.
And that's really what this all boils down to. Safety doesn't come from trying to guess right when you're feeling sick and confused. It comes from having a system, a plan, in place before you ever even get sick. Preparation beats panic, every single time.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. After everything we just went over, go take a look inside your medicine cabinet. Look at those cold and allergy meds you've got. Are they actually ready for you? Or do you need to do a little bit of prep work?